morning to you from Columbus, Ohio, where it is snowy. We had our first snowstorm yesterday, so that was very exciting, and hunkered down with the dogs and watched movies all day. I hope you had a fantastic Saturday and are ready for a great Sunday. I'm Jenny Hensley, co-owner and effectiveness coach with Dynamics. Our goal is to help you reclaim your time, reclaim your life, and love your job again. Our goal with these pep talks is to share the information that we have found and we hear all the time from those of you that we work with individually for coaching and helping you to figure out, first of all, hashtag reclaim your life, but today we're going to be back to hashtag stop bad meetings. And we just desperately want you to stop bad meetings because millions of hours are wasted and time and energy are wasted in bad meetings. We can do it shorter and we can do it better. So that is our goal today. And we are going to be talking about the top 3 meeting mistakes that I see. And the first one is not enough planning. I think that we get to a point maybe when we have our first meeting, we spend all this time planning it, or our retreat, or our meeting at the beginning of the year. We take tons of time planning, and as the year goes on and as we get busier and things happen, you spend less time planning. And oftentimes groups that we're called in to work with or that we work with are at a point where it's just they're winging it. So, you just have an agenda, you have a list of items, you go in and you go boom, boom, boom through them. And we all know, or I've told you in previous videos, that the average adult can only listen to somebody talking at them for 5 minutes. So you need to plan collaborative interaction. You need to have a purpose for the group. And in order to have that happen, it has to be a good lesson plan. It has to take time. So again, you need to spend at least as much time planning the meeting as the meeting is going to take, and probably in the beginning, twice as much. So if it's a 2-hour meeting, 2 to 4 hours for planning. The more people you involve, the more complicated the agenda items, the longer it's going to take. So that's our first one. Mistake number 2 is no planned process. So that goes right along with planned 1, with a mistake number 1, but with number 2, we suggest that you have only 3 to 5 agenda items so that you can dig deep into those agenda items and you have a clear purpose for your group. For each content item, you should have a process. I share this in earlier videos and share specific processes. The idea is, in order to have the opportunity for everybody to participate, you need to have a process that enables that. And depending on your group and depending on the topic, the process will change. The one that we share as our go-to, and if you don't have another process, is think, pair, share. So you share the information, you give the group time to think individually, take notes, you have them pair up with somebody, so then they talk with one other person, and then you have the group share out. That really helps you with the effect of just staring at the group and everybody stares at you blankly and one person or 2 people dominate the conversation. The people that are not comfortable sharing out will be more comfortable because they like to think through things. And on the spot, they can't just come up with things and they're not comfortable sharing. But if you give a think, pair, share process or another process, this gives them time. And then they also have a structured, they know that they're going to be asked to share and they know what and why. So having a planned process is another very important piece. You can see more about this. We did a 3-part series on agendas and how to put a good one together, and I suggest you check that out if you need more. So mistake number 3 is not having a facilitator, or a facilitator whose number 1 goal is to keep the meeting on track. We talk about this a lot. If you are attached to the decision, you think it should go one way or another, you should not be facilitating, because we call that facilitator manipulation. You start guiding the group or cutting off conversation. If you're a facilitator, your number 1 goal should be keeping that meeting on track and making sure that the group has the opportunity to provide the feedback that you want and need from them. And I think we talk about a lot, not everybody can have an outside facilitator like us come in, but what you can do is ask somebody else to facilitate the meeting, somebody who is not as attached to the outcome. You can still plan it, you can still be a part of it, but if you're that attached, you need to make sure you have an outside facilitator or somebody to keep the meeting going. Another thing that you can do is actually visually in the space, take yourself out of this facilitator role. So if you absolutely have to be the one that's facilitating, you can say, okay, I'm going to step out of the facilitator role right now and be a participant. And then you say what you need to say. And then you say, okay, I'm going to step back into the facilitator role. It's that important for you to have a facilitator and have somebody whose number one goal is to keep the meeting going and keep it on track and accomplishing your goals. I mean, we've all sat through meetings that were supposed to last an hour and they lasted 2. There's nothing that shows less respect for your team. And the only way to keep meetings on time and going is to have somebody facilitating. So those are our top 3 meeting mistakes. I'd love for you to share in the comments your top meeting mistakes, your questions and your comments. Anytime you share, like, or ask a question, it really helps us out. And we also encourage you to do a couple things. First of all, if you follow our Dynamics page on Facebook, you can get notifications when we go live. Of course, we do for the Pep Talk every Sunday at 10 a.m. We also have a YouTube channel called the Instructional Leadership Channel. You can also subscribe there and follow and share. That really helps us out too. And in the meeting notes and also in the notes for all of our videos, we have a link where you can sign up for a specific mailing list that has either topics related to stop bad meetings or stop or reclaim your life. And when you sign up, all you have to do is enter your email and your name, and then you'll get our free article, Stop the Bad Meeting Cycle, which has very detailed descriptions about how to plan meetings and how to have effective meetings. So as always, if you're lucky enough to have this Sunday off, please, please, please enjoy it and don't work all day, and have a great Sunday.